Alright, before you get stuck into this commentary, please go listen to the EP now. It will not make much sense if you haven't heard these songs. I'll be talking over it the whole time, so go check it out, then come back and listen to the commentary for the stories behind the tracks. Alright, welcome to the commentary for my EP, The Road Ahead. So, part of me doing this, I love when artists, you find the story out about their tracks. And for me, you know, just trying to be the best artist I want to be, I want to do this sort of thing for you guys. So here we go. We're telling a bit about each track and how it got to where it is and what inspired it, etc. So this first track, Nothing Else. This is a song that I actually I made in New Zealand while traveling around on a bus with my girlfriend. Start of 2017. So that's me on vocals there. So what I was trying to do with this song is just trying to capture the sound around me. So I'm trying to use my music to capture the emotions that I felt by traveling around. So basically, as you can, yeah, sorry, I'm just listening. Yeah, so basically I was super inspired by being in New Zealand and I love the scenery there. It's amazing. We were on the South Island checking out all the scenery and the mountains and the lakes, the rivers, the fjords, all this stuff, and it's just absolutely amazing. And even just being on the bus, sitting there and looking out, I felt inspired and I wanted to capture some of that inspiration, and I tried to do that in audio format, you know, being a musician, a creative. So this is what I came with. So for me, when I hear it, I think of those mountains and the greenery and the scenery and the huge landscapes that blew me away over there in New Zealand. And another layer of it, what the vocals are about is, I was doing this traveling and it was awesome, but a big part of it was doing it with my girlfriend there, and it was just really special if you've traveled with people before, or especially your loved ones or like close mates. It just adds another level to it, and it's hard to capture if you don't know what that is, but this is what I was trying to convey in these lyrics here. Oh, and that intro, and you're hearing the outro, and the birds in the background here, tricky to hear, but those are all samples that I recorded from New Zealand. So there's bird samples, I love them. I've got some samples of like footsteps, Beth and I walking around, rocks, I was throwing some rocks around, capturing those sounds. So I love doing those little things, like, yeah, just very subtle, but, you know, just adds a bit of like context. And after you hear that, after I tell you that, you'll hear it and you'll be like, you know, it makes more sense. And this is also a step for me into the future bass realm and trying to really expand what I do. Like, this was quite low tempo, and it's hard to convey a strong energy when it's slower tempo. So it's a bit sparse and a bit magical, hopefully. And so that helped me convey that, the wisdom and the space and the size of those mountains and stuff. So I think I did all right with this. I'm pretty happy with it in the end. Oh, the EP cover rather is inspired strongly by this song. So that mountain scenery was part of what I was trying to capture in this song. And so I just love that cover to sort of symbolize this song. So here you go, hear the birds. So that was Nothing Else. Next, this one, Let Me Be. So this was inspired by actually some friends, a specific friend of mine, and also on personal experience. This is about, I'll lay this in for a second, I'll tell you.
I just need you, I just need you, I just need, I just need you, I just need you, I just need you, I just need, I just need you, I just need you, I just need you, I just need you to let me be.
So, yeah, this energy here, for me, it's like, it's really strong, and I'm trying to convey like this sort of like passion and not anger. You'll hear that in the second chorus. This sort of passion for just wanting to live your best life. And it's just a bit about, feeling like the environment around you or the people around you, not anyone in particular, but just the energy of like you, or even society broadly. You're trying to just be as much of you as you can, and sometimes that feels next to impossible from all the things that we, the commitments we've got, the things that we feel we have to be doing, we should be doing, and just trying to be your best self. But that's super hard with the environment around you sometimes, and just trying to convey that. And the first chorus is the passion of that, and the second chorus is the sort of the also anger of it. So you can hear here that bass, like super angry, like angry and passionate, not like angry and violent. Well, it's sort of, not violent, but like it's sort of, you feel like you want to lash out all these feelings inside that, you just can't do what you want to do or need to do, based on whatever circumstance it is. And you just want to escape that, and you just want to get out, and you want to just punch things and escape the whatever it is that's holding you back from, doing you as well as possible. It's me on vocals again, if you didn't pick that one up.
I just need you, I just need you, I just need you, let me be.
Yeah, this one probably like 2016. So this one's a bit older as well, as most of these tracks on this EP are 2015, 16, 17. Like it was when I started them. So like most of the creative energy for that song happened a few years ago. And all the tracks from last year will be on my next body of work, which will either be a bunch of singles and a collation later on into an EP, or just a bunch of singles. But I still feel that the energy I was trying to convey about trying to break free from your circumstances, your situation, and do the best yours possible. So that's good. I think I managed to capture it somehow, at least for me. Journey. This is Journey. Formerly called Huge with Triplets, the working title. I find it really tricky to know when you're in the middle of fleshing out a song. It's really hard to know what you should call a song, because sometimes the full idea doesn't come out till later. So the working title was Huge with Triplets. As you can see, I was trying to go for that, a huge vibe. You'll hear that in the chorus, but you can hear like an electric bass, strings. That was the resampled sound that I made from experimenting around. I'm pretty happy with that one. And just trying to give it that big space here. I'll listen to this chorus and I'll tell you a bit more. I love this chorus. This is probably one of my favorite songs that I've made. So this is the first stage of the journey. It's symbolizing. So journey is it's a metaphor and a journey in itself for almost like life in general as well. That everything you do is a journey, and it's symbolic for like my life and my music specifically. But yeah, it conveys that. Well, it's trying to convey that like everything you do is a journey, and it's not about the destination. You know that all that cliche saying, it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. But that's so true for me, because when I think about it, if you don't enjoy the journey, the destination will feel average, or you'll hate 98% of your life and enjoy 2% rather than enjoying the journey, and the destination's a bonus. So then, you know, it's just a much better way to live. So this is the trials and tribulations. The first chorus is a bit more happy, a bit more positive, big and sparse. But this is the trials and tribulations. This is the problems that, you know, may happen, or it's the to and fro, the back and forth between the problems and the solutions, and pushing and getting pushed back against, and, you know, all those things that we experience in everyday life, and especially when you're pushing towards goals and trying to get to those places that you want to go. And I just love how it just constantly evolves and develops. Like, you won't hear the same part again. It constantly is developing and changing. And that's why it's a good metaphor for us and our lives, and me and my musical journey as well. Yeah, that's a good one. I do love this one. And it was really fun working with the strings in here. Oh, strings are tricky, I tell you what. Very difficult, but they sound awesome. I wish I could get into classical composing and be able to write a sonata of 100 plus instruments. That's on the list, but maybe under a different alias. I'm not quite sure if that's consistent with this branding here. Third chorus. I love this one. Yeah, it's awesome when you listen back to it, because I don't always listen back through it, but when I'm listening back to it, I still got this good vibes. And I love the high energy of it. It's like almost too fast to know what to do with it. So it's like, you know, that's classic life. Like, it's all moving too fast, and you're trying to keep up, but, you know, you're getting pulled along for the journey, but you're still loving it. And yeah, pretty chuffed with this chorus, how that works, and that's what I was trying to convey somewhat with that tempo. But yeah, always happy with how that works. Awkwardly fast, but that's the perfect metaphor, I think. Oh, those of you who know me might recognize, or you might hear in the future, that third chorus there is actually my ringtone on my phone. So yeah, I really like that one, that's for sure. So yeah, a little bit experimental as well, as you can tell. Trying out some cool ideas in there. This is Wrinkles. So this is a bit of a wacky one. I've been sitting on this for I started this in 2015. So a long time ago. That's 4 years now since I started it. But I sat on it because it's, as you can hear, it's got, I don't know, there's something about it. It's got a certain energy to it, and it's really fun and just happy and vibey. And I didn't want to release it until there was a time, and then I sort of felt like I almost missed that boat, and I was like, you know, I need to get it out there. Wrinkles. So you can hear it's pretty weird. It's a bit wacky. I think this is the first time I ever delved into the future bass world before I even really knew what it was, I think. But yeah, you can hear that really fast, like rhythmic chords, And there's vocal chops, sort of inspired by, I think the vocals reminds me of Sable, Western Australian artists. And yeah, they're sort of childish, soda poppy type vocals. That's, yeah, as you can hear that's me as well, like sampled up and changed timbre and tone, and yeah, sounds pretty cool, I reckon. So, wrinkles. You might be thinking, what's wrinkles? So the story was, I was making this track, and I was like, I need some vocals. And me and Camels, Christian Camel, shout out to you, ex-Antigen, now produces under Alchemy, sometimes. We love goofing around, and we just made a list of words that were just funny. That were just wacky, zany words that we thought were pretty funny. Or maybe this was a bit more me, but I know Camels love this sort of stuff as well. Probably like, I just thought wrinkles was just something about the word, the way it's said, and just the image that you get in your brain. It's just pretty weird and pretty cool. So, perfect name for a song. Especially a song that's just fun and lighthearted. You know, this isn't the song with the deep lyrics. This is that fun energy that's like just almost summarized by the word wrinkles. Yeah, those plucks, they get me every time. I love them, like Oriental, Chinese strings or something like that. Yeah, I love it. Wrinkles. But yeah, so this song just is not too serious. It's just a bit of fun, good energy, trying to convey that. But still, I always feel like I got to move around and, you know, bob my head a little bit. It's just fun. It's just childlike. Yeah, that's it. It's childlike. It takes you back to your childhood a little bit for me. And yeah, it's just fun. It's not serious. And that's Wrinkles. Against Titans. This is a different song. We're taking a bit of a different turn here. Here the EP gets a little bit dark, a bit heavy, but I really like it. It's a bit of a story behind this one. So basically, there's this company called Cymatics, and I get lots of my sounds and samples from there. It was a challenge to myself to make the song like using only the samples from their sample pack, Titan. And I managed to do like 90% of it is from that pack only. So this like smooth trap chorus one. Yeah, I really like. There's something about trap that's pretty awesome as well, and the interplay of trap and future bass. So this is the sort of this is a bit more classified as trap, and the other stuff we've been hearing up to this point is a lot more future bassy, like with the big bright chords and stuff like that. Just similar, but trap's more focused on the bass and it has less chords and less melodic structure. And future bass is very dependent on the melodic structure and the sound of the sound of those chords and the melodies there. But then we switch it up a little bit in this middle chorus. And so yeah, I like the idea of like creativity through limitation and some barriers. Sometimes having an open box and doing whatever you want is almost impossible to figure out what to do with yourself, but putting some barriers there, some borders, some rules for operation into the creative process, and that I find that helps like creativity come loose here, and that's what I did a bit in this song. And good mate of mine, Alex Janko, rest in peace. He when I played this song for him a couple of years ago, he was just like, oh, oh my, like he was like, oh, this is the best song you've ever made. And yeah, he was super chuffed about it. So, like the cleanest song, I think he said. It was the cleanest I've ever made, so pretty happy with that. And we get a bit dirty here, a bit dark. Bit of a EC's basement here. Yeah, so again, this is another song similar to Journey and Let Me Be, that it's got those sort of different choruses and it's not the same verse, chorus, outro. You know, each chorus is a different story and it's theme and variation. It's like it's the same idea and the same most things, but it's just like put out in a different way. So like, I quite like that one. It's three very different choruses, each giving a different vibe. Similar to Journey, it progresses and develops. Yeah, three different ways to skin a cat, or it's this, you know, it's the same idea, different ways. And I love doing that. I love when you listen to a song and it just keeps catching you by surprise. It's one song, but it's like, oh, it's different. It sounds like another part of a song. Ooh. So this is that dirty stuff, the dark stuff I was talking about before. This is a remix, my own remix of my track Coming Up, which I released last year. Ooh, maybe even 2017. No, I think early last year. Yeah, about a year ago. And with this, sometimes I listen to my own songs and I get inspired to make a new song. So sometimes when I'm listening to artists I look up to, I hear it and I get sort of a wave of inspiration to make a song. And so I love to go off and do it and use that as much as I can. And I had that with my own song, which I thought was pretty funny. I was listening to it in the car and I was like, oh, I just have a creative idea, but like a really dark idea. And I had a thought to flip it and make it super dark. And yeah, it actually worked out pretty good. So, and a bit like, anyone's familiar with Pendulum, their track The Island, part 1 and part 2, Dawn and Dusk, very similar. So they've got that. Yeah, go check that out. I would recommend that highly. And that really inspired me and made me think it's okay to put the same song out. Well, not the same song. A song that's titled the same in two different ways, because it basically is a different song. Now, I think they pioneered that in sort of 2010 from my understanding. So they've got a really dark version and a really bright version. And they're similar, but they sort of complement each other and they tell the story from a different side, and that's what I tried to do here. It's my vocals in this one as well. Yeah, I love this dark energy here. I really like it. It's something I do really like. I don't do it a lot, but I like to harness that energy. I really like, it's cool, dark, mysterious, and very like basement, underground sort of vibes. And the original Coming Up, and this is very similar to the theme of my whole EP, The Road Ahead. So The Road Ahead is about, as a title, The Road Ahead is about, this is me at a snapshot in time. This is the music I've produced till now. It symbolizes what I've done and it symbolizes me right here. And it's just accepting that the journey is long. The music journey is long. And I know that it's 2, 3, 4 albums, EPs from here where I might start to make some of that big, strong traction that would see me, playing at some big festivals in Australia or elsewhere. But just to keep going on that journey, that Shout out to myself there. Journey. So yeah, Journey, Nothing Else, and this coming up, and the remix, this version, are 3 tracks that really symbolize this whole EP for me. It's about that. Life's a journey, music's a journey, understanding that, accepting that, and don't try to get too caught up along the way of the ins and outs, the trials and tribulations. That it's all just a journey, and we'll get there eventually. So that was my commentary for my EP, The Road Ahead. I hope you've enjoyed it. That was fun to do. It's good to let you know the story, and it's good for those stories to be out there. And hopefully, if you go back and listen to the EP now, you get maybe a potentially bit of a different appreciation for it, or an understanding from where I was at, and it might change how you view the song, for good or bad. I don't know. But I'd love to know if you do check this out, and you. I definitely recommend, as I said before, going and listening to the EP through first in full, and then coming and listen to this, because hearing me stop and start talking all the way through won't leave you feeling like you really get it. So go listen to it, come back, listen to this, and then go listen to the EP again. And I'd love to, let me know if there's anything different or how it's affected your interpretation of it. I love when artists I aspire to be, do stuff like this. So I thought I'd do that for you guys and see what you think. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.